So
I did see an interesting article I came across today that I could share. Pause for silence.
Yeah, no need. We keep this.
Back pain. Man injects 18 doses of semen into his arm to cure back pain. Ends up in the hospital.
What kind of semen?
His own.
Ah.
Yeah.
So how did he manage
There
to
were
save
no
18
medical
doses?
records in history of semen ever curing back pain when taken intravenously.
That's something you learned in jail.
Is he dead?
No, he had this lump on his arm. Apparently, this caused some type
I
of
should have said that.
bacterial infection into his arm. He was injecting it in the same place.
That sounds like something a predator would say in jail.
No disrespect to all our viewers,
Back
but
hurt?
I'm just going to make a disclaimer. I'm going to go out on a limb and say
back pain?
that
Help you
was
with that?
a white man.
Yes.
Things that white people do sometimes.
He went
Love
and
y'all.
got a hypodermic needle online and
I mean, it sounds like some ancient.
got his
Eastern-
homegrown
Yeah, like,
jizz.
what would make you think jizz? And not for nothing, you disgusting piece of ish. Like, you literally was just whacking off and just popping it like in a jar, like and just
That's what I'm
saving
saying,
it,
like, he's storing
and just
it up.
saving and storing this, man.
into
Like,
your arm.
So you whacked off,
cure
put it in
your
the jar,
back.
and then to cure your back. Why?
Yeah.
What? And where did you get that idea from?
That's the thing. Like,
It's
there's no
easier than trying to
documentation.
inject-
There's nothing
That's
even on the
everything.
internet that I'm sure you would read and say, like, yeah, scientists have shown that
I see.
semen
Right.
fix back issues. No, that was just something you concocted in your head. Like, and
Got
yeah.
back pain?
So if your arm is up now, you got the sperm
No.
arm, then go ahead, dog. You got the sperm arm. He got a Popeye joint, like one joint bigger than the other, like, you know what I'm saying? Go
But
ahead.
there's really no wise way. But to go so far as to get a hypodermic needle and think that injecting it in your arm is going to help you.
Mental illness, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
real-
you onto something there, man. He might need to get checked.
Mental
for a
illness
few
is
other
real
things.
in the world right now.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, well,
really-
because it wasn't something spontaneous. He had to been thinking about it. For a
He
while.
did it once a month.
Well, how much was? What's the
Wait,
injection
wait.
size?
I don't know that I saw
How many
the
cc's
injection.
of jizz?
Yeah, well, he did it.
Listen, dog,
he did it on his own, so there's no telling.
Right.
Dude,
know how
just
much,
a fact. Like,
but
not even trying
every
to.
month for 18 months.
Every month for 18.
Every month for 18 months.
Okay,
he
so it's
did
not
this.
really about him storing it up, putting it on ice. He said
Or
maybe
it
one
was.
day.
What do you mean? That makes no sense. You waited 18 months to get a plethora of jizz? Like, that's
I
like.
think it's-
No,
He
he
once
did
a
it
month.
every month
For 18
Oh,
18 months.
He did.
Yeah, so for a year and a half each month. Oh, wait, hold on. I'll get with you guys in later. I got to shoot some nut in my arm. It's that time.
Yeah.
Of the month for me. Yeah, year and a half.
And then he got an infection, you said.
As he should.
Yeah.
And he might fuck around and die from it. All right? Yeah, nasty fuck.
Injecting his own semen
Sperm goes out.
using a hypodermic needle. He
Goes out into the
online.
world for kids and whatever else, but it goes out
Around
there.
this time, he
It
injected
doesn't come back in.
3 doses.
You don't take it out and then inject it back in you. All right? You don't recycle your own
if
shit.
you have back pain, maybe.
Yeah. Like my man Chappelle said back on
The swollen
Half Baked.
region grew.
Go get a backiotomy.
And
Go get a backiotomy. All
the
right?
swollen region
Top
grew
percentage.
and hardened around the area on his arm where he had injected semen. The X-ray revealed an area of trapped air beneath the man's skin. The doctors immediately hospitalized the patient, treating him with an intravenous
Yeah, because
antimicrobial
if you get air in your bloodstream,
therapy.
it can kill you, right?
I
Exactly.
think so.
And you don't know. You're not a doctor. You don't know what you're doing and how you dude. What is wrong with you? And you did it for 18 months.
You got pretty lucky.
The doctors performed a search of the medical literature and beyond, revealing not a single case of intravenous semen injection for back pain.
No, like that was just you're an idiot.
Somebody-
And that's it. And
Although there is a report of the effects of subcutaneous semen injections into rats and rabbits, there were no cases of intravenous semen injection to
Unless
humans
he-
found across the literature.
unless he was a snitch, then he could be a rat. Yeah, right. And he wanted to inject himself. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, you're the
Well, you want to experiment.
yeah.
dickhead of the week.
Yeah.
All right, you know what I'm saying? Definitely.
Right.
We give that to him. Definitely. Well, he's in the running. There's a couple people in the running for that this week. You got Sperm Arm. You got, Fast Food Donnie. And then you got the Aura.
Yeah, we can talk about that guy there in that whole documentary.
The R.
I mean, like, every time I'm scrolling through my channel guide and I go past Lifetime, that shit is on.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they are just trying to get every remaining rating. I watched bits and pieces of it. Like, I didn't like sit down and go for episode to episode because.
Yeah. If I can say, you get a chance, roll something up, and sit
Like,
back.
what are they gonna tell me down there? He's
No,
a
lie.
scumbag. Like,
It's depths. But it's depths to how.
I get it. But,
Yeah, I'm saying it's definitely depths and levels to it, man. Like,
what was the most alarming, surprising thing that you guys learned from watching it?
that, first of all, he, originally we already knew about the underage thing with him, and even from our era, because we grew up through his era. You know what I'm saying? When he blew up and had all these hits, and we was grooving to him all like that. We grew up through the PP era. All right. We as young kids, we halfway swept that under the rug because we ain't know no better, and we was all in tune to the music. Fair enough. But I thought after the man got through that trial and he was not guilty, that, I don't know, a light bulb would go off like, I need to chill on just how I'm operating with these chicks and deal with older women and play that game however I need to. But to find out that it got worse, you know what I'm saying? And that he has pretty much like chicks in, like, you might as well say luxury dungeons, basically how they're living, you know what I'm saying, was pretty disheartening to know that there's that there are parents out here that haven't seen their kids for 2-3 years because they done got sucked in under the R's, mind control. It was just wild, man. And you know what I'm saying? Of course you don't believe everything you see out there, but it's reoccurring, dog. It was just reoccurring. It was like chick after chick, and we talking about up until today. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's where it was just like, damn, dog. Like, I had to remove songs from my I ain't gonna hold, I still had plenty of songs from R. Kelly in my little Smooth Groove playlist. I had to remove them Jones, man. Like, I just was like, man, I can't even right now, dog.
I got a sleeves Set It Off strokeable CD around here somewhere.
And R. Kelly was prevalent in them Jones. You know what I'm saying? And Kelly was prevalent in them Jones, man. But no, I can't even.
That on camera,
You know what I'm saying? No, man, Strokables is the real. Yeah, listen, dog.
These CDs, I got these CDs.
But yeah, I mean, I had been
Thank you.
a proponent of just
I still
like
got that. Let me hear that, John.
taking, when I hear him on the radio, just hitting the button for years now. And everything that you said, I've read, within the last few years as these stories have come out. It's good that the series came out just to put a lens on it and get those testimonials from people, but
there's a lot. I had a lot of different emotions about this whole R. Kelly.
Where does it end? Like, go.
No, I did. I mean, it's
Especially as a father of a daughter.
but just yeah, and not even a father of a daughter, just as a good
human
person,
being.
whatever, right? But
Still got a little girl.
okay,
too.
so take it
Shit.
back. Take it back to the 90s, right? We can go back to the 90s.
Yes.
Right? You might even have heard rumors. You might not have heard rumors if he was, from our era, so to speak. But
Real quick, rest well to my baby girl. She would have turned 40 today. Aaliyah, I love and miss you. All right, go ahead.
But technology is way different today. So back then, a lot of stuff just would have been rumor, hearsay. You couldn't really verify that information. Today, you can verify the information. People might record something. You can Google stuff. You can find it. You can search it. Whatever. You can see that, oh, this dude really is into young girls. He really did marry so and so. You know what I mean? And whatever. So back then, it was easier to kind of like hear these allegations because that's all they would have been at the time, and to disregard them. Go, nah, I don't believe it. It's just hearsay. Just people just hating on R. Kelly. He's famous, whatever. Something might be going on between him and Aaliyah. I don't know. Is something really going on? Is it just a marketing ploy? You know what I mean? Whatever. You wouldn't know. So that was in the 90s. And then later on, what was it, like 2000, 2001, the P tape comes out. And everybody goes to see the P tape. Not because they're into watching grown men pee on teenage girls, although some
But they
people
couldn't
are.
believe it.
But you had to find out for yourself.
Yes.
I saw. You had to find out. Is that
Bootleg era, baby.
Right.
Bootleg
It's on
era.
like VHS or something like that.
Hell yeah.
So it's like,
They was
is
all
that
through the hood.
really R. Kelly? So
2 for 5.
Right. So you see that, and then at this point in time, you have to make a decision. Am I still going to be an R. Kelly supporter? You know what I mean? Like, this guy's crazy. Like, even though later on they go to trial, and the girl and the girl's family deny that that's her on the tape, and R. Kelly, I guess, says that that's not him on the tape. So everything gets
They got
tossed
paid
out,
off.
whatever. if you see the tape, you're like, yeah, that's him. Like, your hair is fucking crazy. And then now with this documentary, some of the things that it brought back to my attention, and maybe I was aware at the time, maybe I just forgot, but there were other cases, something that came up in Florida in like 2008 or something like that, that got thrown out or dismissed or whatever, what have you. And then as of recently, the thing that really brought it back to the spotlight was those women in that house in Atlanta. That was like last year or something like that, that story started breaking. So, it's
and that woman getting her daughter back. You know what I'm saying? Crazy.
And there's so many. There's all these different levels to it. And, you've got all these people around him who enabled that behavior. And now some people were just trying to solely put it on men, like saying it was men's fault that R. Kelly was doing this. Nobody was protecting these girls, this, that, and the other, what have you. And as a father, as a parent, I could tell you for one thing, I know for sure, there is no way that in 2015, 2016, 2017. 2013, 2014, I could have been okay with my teenage daughter working with R. Kelly, knowing what I know. Now, granted, the man has made hits after all.
Who cares?
His current appearances. But knowing what I know, there's no way I'm allowing you to work with this guy. It's not going to happen. So how do these parents sit back and allow themselves to do it? Like, you're crazy and you're naive to think that it can't happen to your daughter. First off, she wasn't even around when all this stuff was really popping. She wasn't really old enough to remember, so she's probably just a little starstruck. Doesn't really know the truth.
Of course, right.
You know what I mean? So as a parent, it's your job to protect them in that regard. And that's mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, everybody. No, there's no way you working with R. Kelly. It just can't happen. But these parents okay it, maybe for their own reasons, obviously some greed. You see an opportunity for your talented child to become famous, and you think that it's not going to happen to me. This guy, you start trying to think. You're trying to be optimistic about everything. So you think that this guy is done, he's going to change his ways. But there are certain crimes where it's like, even if a person may have changed their ways, for like pedophilia and underage sex and all that stuff, just to play it safe, you keep you and yours away from that. That's not something you want to risk for any opportunity. It's just not worth it because you go on destroying a child's life, a young woman's life, which is what we've seen in the documentary. You know what I mean? So you can't just solely blame men for that. And also at the same time, a lot of people have enabled this behavior, and not just the people around him in his immediate circle, not just the management, not just the label representatives and all those other people in the studio, but them too. But also his fan base. There are people who still came out and supported the man and came to his shows and his tours and all that stuff.
Let him have a show tomorrow.
Oh no, it's not popping now.
Look,
it's not. No, I'm being honest.
They shut it down.
It's different. It's different. It has changed. It has changed from that now. That's why he is doing shows overseas, talking about, do you have your passport? Do you have your shots?
So people still came out and they still supported him, knowing what he was up to. And the thing is and I brought this up on an episode a couple of weeks back, when I heard that I Admit song. I don't know if you remember what I mentioned. It's like 15, 20 minutes long.
We never listened to it because that was enough. Anytime you're putting out a record, nigga talking about I Admit.
And I'm not a big R. Kelly fan based on his history, but I'm like, I was curious. It's sparked. I couldn't front. I was like, what's he admitting to? Is he really coming clean? And I told you, the man is a musical genius. It's 15, 20 minutes, and it's the way he talks. He can just make you listen. It doesn't matter. He's just got that talent. But at the same time, he's done these deeds in the past, and it's just crazy.
No,
but Dance in the Name of Love or Step in the Name of Love, I bet it played in my wedding.
I bet it's okay. Yes, you did.
What I mean? And it's not like I was sitting there. I don't recall really going through the plays. You get a DJ, you say,
but it flowed and did what it needed to do.
But that's the point. The man makes such good music that people are willing to turn a blind eye, willing to just disregard.
I don't think so anymore.
And would you say that right now because hating R. Kelly is the popular thing to do?
No, it's not a hate.
Because you knew all the stuff that you know about R. Kelly right now back then. You can say, I didn't know about all those girls in Atlanta, right?
I didn't know it was still recent.
I didn't know about those girls in 2008. But how come just knowing about Aaliyah in 2000 or knowing about the girl in 2000 that peed on and knowing about Aaliyah in the 90s, how come that wasn't enough?
Right.
Because I was 20 something.
Now, I knew about those two.
I can be honest. I can answer that. Back then,
right.
I was a teenager, and I was a young 20-year-old,
right.
So I didn't care. It was about the music.
But as you became older, you could still reflect on back then and go, you know what? Back when I was a teenager and a young 20-something, I didn't care. But now as an adult, those two events are more than enough for me to say, I'm done with this.
And I'm not even gonna hold you. I wouldn't have said I was done with him off of those 2 events. I'm the
Mad
type
people didn't. Mad people didn't.
I'm the type of person that, listen, man, I don't judge. I'm trying to make sure everybody deserves in life to, have their mistakes and try to grow from them. So my thought was that, like I said, after the trial, I thought the man actually was trying to better himself and actually tried to learn from the bullshit he was doing. But if anything...
Because you're not in the loop, right? And most of us weren't.
Not in the loop, but not only that, but after seeing the documentary and seeing the timeline and the events, if anything, he felt like Teflon Don. Like, because he beat the case, and he said basically...
Not just beating the cases, but still making hit music. You can't have hit music without the people supporting it.
But he comes out, and this is what I'm saying. What he tries to do now, you got to peep his angle. What he tries to do is, and he had been successful for so long, that's why his head got so big with this. That's why the I Admit even came out. He's so used to having some scandal, and then he come out with some wild song halfway telling on himself, but the people love it, and then they forget about it.
Right. This shit
that's been the formula since the 90s. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like even when they was talking about when the peace stuff first came out, that's when Step in the Name of Love came out, and that John just wrote it out, and that trial got pushed back 5 years or whatever like that, and that's how it went. But now it's not working. The formula finally isn't working.
Too much outrage.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people are boycotting your shows here in America. People ain't buying your music no more in America. All right.
Oh, actually, no. I heard sales went up.
At that first week, streams went up.
People wanted to go back and revisit the old music and to see if they were missing some messages about him sleeping with underage girls or something like that. So you go back and revisit 12 play because of the 12 in it. Is it about a 12-year-old girl? You don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Well, how old is the woman he's trying to bump and grind with? You go back to try to see if there's little... You go back to check the nuances in the music to see what put in there that you might have missed. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is what it is.
But now, his label stopped. They're not pushing out his music. Like, he had a whole another album ready to come out. He ready to bring his new music out. And they halted it right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because
the climate ain't right for it.
No.
But there's just so many facets to this thing. And like, as far as the young girls getting manipulated by him, I get that. You're a young girl who's a superstar. I can understand you being manipulated. But some of those women, I do not feel sorry for.
Because he actually had a couple like 20s. He had a chick in the 30s, a chick like over 25 or something like that.
Like,
and they were
you knew.
Dungeon recipients too.
They fell with him, right? Like, yeah.
You knew about the man in this history. And there was one woman who knew because not only was she in her 30s, but she worked in radio. So how do you become a victim?
Yeah.
It's almost like that's a choice. Like, you are a grown woman and this man he sleeps with underage girls.
Right.
Obviously, he's some kind of womanizer, a manipulator. What are you doing?
I don't know what R. Kelly on, because I don't even just think it's womanizer.
Or you're out there trying to get a check.
Freaked out is what R. Kelly is. Because look, man, he took one of the young girls. She was gorgeous. And like a gorgeous female. And he turned her into a butch-looking
So
John.
now, what is that about, though?
Like, no, literally. Beautiful, man. Her hair, flow, face, everything. Cut her all her hair off, had one of them little nappy froze or whatever. She went from rocking the long hair, being a female. She got fitteds and snapbacks on, take down the nipples and did all this, that, and the third, wearing nothing but went from dresses and girly gear to wearing jeans and you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. And that's what you was on. Because you like that. Or like, you know what I'm saying? You wanted her to be on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Listen. Prime example, like we in here right now. We'll just do this, and you're not that, Mustafa. But we'll say Mustafa's R. Kelly. We'll say this is a studio session. All right? Imaginary chicks in here right now. All right? Me and Tyree just came in here. All right? Me and Tyree, we have manners. We're going to say, what's up, R? And we're going to say, how you doing, young ladies? If them chicks look at us or speak to us, them bitches ain't eating for 3 days.
Maybe 4.
All right? Real rap. That's the type of time he was on. Like, nigga, no. You don't look at another nigga. You don't speak to another nigga unless I give you permission. Listen, big ass house. Yeah. Big mansion.
Control.
It's 7 women in there. They can't communicate with each other. They can't talk to each other. They all in their own room. And listen, if you want to use the bathroom or eat or anything like that. You don't come out. You can't just go to the refrigerator, nigga. You gotta make a noise and let this nigga know that you ready to eat or you want to go to the bathroom or something. And he may answer and let you do it, and he may not. Nigga had buckets in the room for him to go to the bathroom. Like, dog, what are you on?
So let me ask you this. I don't even know if they covered this in the docuseries. If any of these women at some point said, F this, I want to go.
They did. And that's the thing.
And they were able to go?
Yes, he had a psychological hold on these women.
Right.
It wasn't really something physical.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some physical abuse.
Right.
But there were women who said, I had enough and I left.
Yeah.
Women would go out. He would send girls out to go and try to recruit other girls.
Yeah.
So it's like you had opportunities to be out if you wanted to.
But he had that mind control, man. This nigga was deep in the pimp game
Like
on these
iceberg. It was like some icebergs. It was like, yo, he really had him. And it's crazy. But it is what it is with that R. Kelly thing, and that's crazy. But like I said,
if they got Bill Cosby now, see, and that's the other flip of what people said too. Bill doing time because some of the Caucasian women was involved in what he had going on, and he doing time at 80 plus. R. Kelly been tormenting black women since the 90s, all right? And ain't spent a day in jail. Like, you know what I'm saying, over this shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of the black women are coming out saying, like, and it's true. Black women aren't viewed, you know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate that they're viewed like they ain't shit. And they are the crown jewel of everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Now, I'm glad
where it's
you brought
fucked
that up. Now, see, because that touches on some other issues I have with this whole R. Kelly thing. Yeah, black women definitely are like the worst treated people in the country. No doubt. People try to say, if it was white women or white girls, R. Kelly had been able to get away with it as long as he has.
that nigga would have been booked in 94.
Nah. It's all about, as far as I'm concerned, it's about how valuable you are to the powers that be, your record label, music, Hollywood, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, sure.
Because you mentioned Bill Cosby. And now if you believe everything they say about Bill Cosby, he's been drugging and raping white women since the 60s. And he just got put away today. Right?
That's a lot of decades.
That's a lot of decades of taking advantage of white women, and people knew about it, right?
Yes.
And they had to let him get away with it because he was America's dad, because of the Cosby Show, because of before that Picture Page and I Spy, because he was a moneymaker. So race does play a big issue in this country. America was founded on race. Money is also another issue in this country.
That's the biggest color right there.
Money, they will turn a blind eye to a lot of nefarious things that you will do. No doubt. But for the record, yes, black women are abused and mistreated like no other group of people in this country. But I can't necessarily say if R. Kelly was abusing white little girls, if they would have arrested him sooner, because he was making all that money for them. So they were willing to let it go.
He might have made it through the 90s and made it after the Step in the Name of Love a little bit, but I'm of the thought that, I'm sorry. if it would have been a couple Susies and a couple Beckys in that mix.
Like, shit, man. 40 plus years.
But it's a different era. But when you say that about Cosby, we talking about an era where all that type of shit for everybody was scraped under the rug, all right? It wasn't social media and things of that nature that could bring it out more. So with us coming into that era, I'm sorry.
And let's be clear, I do get it that Cosby is grown women, for the most part, from here. All those women some were teens, grown, late teens, but still grown, like 18, 19, right? I get there is that difference, but still white women. This is America, but I do get that. I just want to make that point now. But I mean, you know what else I don't like about this too? And I don't know if the media is trying to flip the narrative for some reason or another, and I'm not saying that R. Kelly don't need to be punished for what he did, because he does. You know what I'm saying? If he's guilty, I'm not going to court being guilty. You know what I mean? If you're found guilty, whatever. But what I don't like is that you can't sit here in this country and try to make the face of misogyny and pedophilia and rape a black face.
Oh.
You can't do that, because there are tons of white men who need to have documentaries made about them for all their sexual
Harvey
abuse.
Weinstein, Matt Lauer, all these.
Now that's my thing. How does Matt Lauer not have some kind of documentary going on or something? R. Kelly's on your radio, no doubt. Puts out a new album every couple years. Otherwise, he's on tour. Unless you're a fan, you're not hearing him. Matt Lauer is in your living room Monday through Friday.
But to your point,
every week.
But to your point,
Every week.
and this don't make it right.
With a button on his desk.
This don't make it right. But this is what it comes from. Matt Lauer was groomed under the old school, and this, like I said, what I'm saying don't make it right at all. It's fucked up. But this is what it was. He's groomed under the old school style where those type of men were assholes behind the camera and pigs on some freak shit for decades. He came in getting groomed under cats like Tom Brokaw that was freak ass boys that have been talking shit to these chicks forever.
I mean,
you know what
it
I'm
was
saying?
done in jest, and I loved it. But like, there's some truth to Anchorman. You know what I mean? Like how they would just objectify the women, try to party, sex, drugs, rock and roll.
Exactly.
Like, yeah,
all day long.
That bro culture. Like, yeah, check out the game.
Lauer had a fucking button.
Yeah.
All right, on his desk that would lock the door for a chick. All right, you come in. All right, no, you're not.
Right.
What my man say to John? Now yous can't leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like, come on, dog. And he was groomed. Like I said, that don't make it right. But his old heads put him onto that shit, and he just continued to trend with it. Same thing with Harvey Weinstein. How the hell did one of the Judd sisters, Ashley Judd, just lost her case against Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah, I forgot.
How the fuck she lose the case? All right, and it's a bunch of these chicks coming out. It's not by coincidence all these chicks is coming out about him. Like, you know what I'm saying? They've been on this shit.
And
They've
people
been
knew about Harvey Weinstein just like they knew about R. Kelly, and a lot of people still work with him. There were always those rumors.
He had clauses, dog. He had like contracts already set up that, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna feel and fondle on you. You're gonna sign this disclaimer, and you're gonna be good. You know
now what you gotta have, what you gotta see is that you have everybody who worked with R. Kelly turning on R. Kelly and saying, that was a bad decision.
Right, should have made music with him, that type of thing.
Now, everybody who worked with Harvey Weinstein's got to start saying the same thing.
They not. And they haven't.
Why not though?
Because
you gotta be fair.
the main color, what we talking
And
about.
I'm not saying people are wrong for, saying that I regret working with R. Kelly. All I'm saying is that now that people have done that, let's be fair across the board and make sure everybody who worked with Weinstein
you're not gonna never get
come out and apologize.
You're not ever
that
gonna
too.
get that, because guess what? When we just talked about the race situation, it ain't about black, it ain't about white, it ain't about brown. It's about green, and that paper controls it all. And if you one of them people that's in that power position, you can play with it how you want to.
And then it's like, who apologizes? It's like how
Every actor that's worked with him.
Right, so you talk about the actors, but like, I don't know anything about acting. Like, how in touch are you with the producer? Like, maybe they don't even talk to him. Maybe they just work with like the director and the writer and the people
producer,
who are.
If you're the main actor, the producer puts everything together.
Okay, so you're the main
But
actor. What if you're like the fourth or fifth actor, like, somebody who just got a bit part in this role, and it's like the role of your life, and it's going to platform you to superstardom because you hear that this certain producer's name is attached to the project.
He owns the studio that you're working for.
I would say just like this. Now you could, right? But if you're a more notable person, if you're a little more famous and you've worked with him, I think people expect that from you. Just like with R. Kelly, they expect the artist who worked with R. Kelly to speak out and say, hey, that was a bad move. But people don't really expect the studio engineer, maybe.
Like, for instance, I was just watching
the sessions
watching the Hateful Eight. Like, right when the Hateful Eight goes, a Weinstein company comes across.
Exactly.
Maybe Quentin Tarantino could come out, but should Sam Jackson?
He started, he could come out and say, you know what, I should
No,
do.
Sam Jackson not, because he ain't
Bruce
privy
Dern,
to it.
he was the
What you mean privy
He's
to
not
it?
privy to it. No, you talking about...
You talking about one of the wealthiest actors in Hollywood isn't privy to the behaviors of Harvey Weinstein?
How is he privy to it? Get what I'm
Because
going
he's been
on?
acting for decades. He knows. He's in the mix.
Get where I'm going, dog. We can hear rumors about whoever, but if I ain't been around and seen that shit, what you want me to say? All right, so hold on. This is what I'm saying. When Harvey Weinstein is lining up these women and this, that, and the third, they're coming to him privately. Samuel ain't there. Quentin ain't there. None of them motherfuckers is there.
No, sleeves. I hear you. And
So what you want them to do?
This is what I want them to do. I want them to do the same thing that all the musicians had to do with R. Kelly, because I'm sure Lady Gaga might not have been privy to the young girls coming and messing around with R. Kelly. But when she later found out, she had to go back and say, you know what, I apologize. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm sure everybody who worked with R. Kelly didn't.
You know why he's not? You know why they're not going to say that?
R. Kelly.
Because most of the motherfuckers, unfortunately, still have some ties contractually, probably under the Weinstein Group and what they doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's fucked up. They tied in. So best thing for them to do is just shut the fuck up. And that's messed up, but that's what they can do. Like, that's how they tie you into
you know
it.
what? And I know that's what they will do. I'm just saying I want that equality. That's all I'm saying. If
You're not
people had
never
to
gonna get that
go,
shit.
you know, whatever. I can still say I want it.
And you're right. You
You know
should
what I'm
get
saying?
it. No, you're
That's
right.
all I want. If they got to do it over here for this guy who did X, Y, and Z,
So
they need to do it over here for
the R.
this guy
Kelly
who
thing
did
is
A, B, and
fresh.
C.
The R. Kelly thing is fresh.
And Weinstein is
happened.
fresh.
No, but what I'm saying is Weinstein's thing has been out for
The revelations on a major
but
on a-
Weinstein's thing's
on
been
this
out
level.
for at least a year, I would say. I can't say confidently that 12 months ago people weren't like, I shouldn't have worked with him. Like, we're talking about it now, but a year ago, maybe there were a rash of people who came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not thinking of names right
But
now.
there was
but,
no other.
No, it was because you had
You know what I mean?
actors like
Right.
Affleck and all them boys.
and it's
like,
not
I'm
like
sorry.
every artist that worked with R. Kelly, like, it might be commiserate in terms of how many people Weinstein worked with would, I don't know. Like, you know, you're pointing the finger at people that worked under Weinstein saying they should step up, they should come out, they should say shit. Maybe they did a year ago, a year and a half ago, when this whole thing was just sort of like coming into the big cloud that it's in now. Like, because he was in the news for the shit.
No, there
Yeah,
was. It was.
you know what?
It was some people that. There was a lot of
People
actors
need to
that
do
had
it again.
to apologize. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, a lot of them boys came out with their apologies and this, that, and the third because they didn't know this, that, and the third, just to cover their asses, basically. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, you can do all that, but at the end of the day, like, yo, if it ain't happening right in front of me, I can hear the rumors all the fuck I want, but I'm here to do a job, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry that went down for you. You want to go handle that, sis? But I'm not about to say shit. I gotta get this check, and that's the lifestyle we living in right now. Like,
And that is kind of messed up because I mean, let's be
It
real.
is.
If you do hear a bunch of rumors about an individual like that from several different people, maybe some of these sources are reliable people that you trust. When do you go? You know what? I haven't seen him sleeping with no young girls, but my man over here told me that he did. That's my man's.
but he could tell me all he want. I got a $15 million contract. I'm about to do these 2 movies. I'm about to do these 2 fucking movies, dog.
So is that
Or
selling
I'm
his soul?
doing this joint album with him, and I'm getting
How is he
that
selling?
is that selling his soul?
No. How is he selling my soul? Because it's not. Listen. Unfortunately, if I didn't see it firsthand, I hear what you said, but that ain't stopping me from eating. Like, I still got to feed my fucking family.
So as long
that
as
shit ain't
you
happening to me.
As long as you don't see it, then it's whatever to you.
If I ain't seen it, I ain't coming. If I can't, bottom line is this. After I worked with him that one time, let's just say, you know what I'm saying, somebody put me on, I worked with him that one time. Then I'm going to get ready to do another job with him. And then more motherfuckers come on me, then I might start thinking about that shit. Because, you know what I'm saying, more people than came around to me. If one person told me one thing, I can't just go off of that rumor.
10 people tell you before the first time
job.
you even do
What
it.
do you do then?
I have to have a decision with myself.
That's what
That's
the
what I'm
fuck.
saying.
Yes, you do.
That's
What
I'm
is
saying.
it?
What's the cutoff? How many people do you need
Right.
to tell you? Like,
or how many people that you trust you.
It all depends.
Right.
It all depends where you at in your lifestyle, man, and your mentality. Because, you know, it's like one of them things. Like, all right, I'm not a judge. Like, I'm not here to judge motherfuckers, man. You know what I'm saying? You're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here to do a job. But in doing that job, if I don't feel internally, if I don't feel right with it, then I can't fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. Like, if it's one of them things, like my main co-star, and like this bitch came to me and had like a breakdown, like the whole 9. It's like, damn, like, nah, like, she wouldn't just act a fool like that if this shit wasn't real. Like, then nah, I'm not fucking with it. I'll go mess with another company, or it is what it is. Like, you know, I'm not selling my soul. You know what I'm saying? For no shit like that. No. Because, you know, the money is only, you know, right here, right now. Like, you know, you got to live with certain shit for your life and eternally. So, like, nah, I couldn't do it. But, you know, some people on that cusp, like you said, like the extras or this, that, and the third, that ain't maybe the main character, and this, that, and the third, and they just like, all right, whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get my check, but I don't know this shit to be happening, but it don't make it right. And in the event, Harvey Weinstein, is he locked up or is he free now?
He's free right now.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this motherfucker gonna be free for a little bit in this corner. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, just like you said, they trying to paint a black man as the poster child for this pedophilia and all this dumb shit. It's not. It's been plenty of people. Now, R. Kelly is fucked up and wrong, like shit, definitely. But there have been plenty before him. Let's not forget about back in the 80s, motherfucking Rob Lowe had a sex tape with a little underage fucking girl. And Fucking Hollywood been trying to, yes, fucking right. And Hollywood been trying to, back around the times he did that movie, like, what is it called? Sex, Lies, and Videotapes or some shit. The motherfucker had like a 13 or 14-year-old videotape with a bitch in the bed. He was like 21 or some shit like that. And the bitch was like 14. They won't tell you that. They sweep it under the rug. You know what I'm saying? But when they want to bring up the R. Kelly shit.
Oh, yeah.
But R. Kelly, in that, Rob Lowe could have made that mistake back when he was young and learned and kept it pushing. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is fine. The problem with R. Kelly is he ain't never learned from this shit. All right? And he keep pushing forward with these young chicks. And on this dumb shit. That's why we're at our wits end with this motherfucker.
Kells gonna
You
do
know what I'm
Kells.
saying? Exactly. Like, he don't give a fuck. And then write a song called I Admit It. Like, he be telling on himself in his music. Like, that's just what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy now at, 30 plus that I had to really analyze a lot of shit. Like, this nigga been telling on himself from trapped in the closet, from all that type shit. Like, nigga's
It's
crazy.
all based on his own personal
Exactly,
experiences.
dog. Like, he got a problem,
Yeah.
dog. And the thing is, he ain't never been able to put down what we recording on. That camera. This motherfucker stay recording everything. They said the P tape wasn't even the worst one of them Jones. All right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, boy, it's crazy. Like,
Yikes.
mm-mm.
I don't even know.
That's what happens when you can't read. You just draw pictures and videotape shit. You know?
And pee on bitches.
Yeah,
Can you do this?
right. I could just see him now, like, drawing a picture of like a closet, and this is how the whole song. Like, no, ain't no lyrics. Like,
This
you
the
gotta
first- this the
do
first
shit.
verse.
Yeah, right. It's like hieroglyphics. But whatever, man.
Yeah, man.
His day will come.